I look at London, where you have a terrible mayor, terrible mayor, and it's been so changed. Now they want to go to Sharia law.
I think President Trump has shown he is racist, he is sexist, he is misogynistic, and he's Islamophobic.
Unscripted commentary. The teleprompter kept rolling, but Trump wasn't reading anymore. He looked directly into the camera and said word for word, "I look at London, where you have a terrible mayor. Terrible mayor. The city is not safe. The numbers don't lie. Crime is up. People are leaving. And nobody wants to talk about why the Brazilian delegation started whispering." The French ambassador put down his pen. Even the usually stoic German representatives began exchanging glances. In 45 years of UN sessions, nothing quite like this had happened. But Trump wasn't done. He continued, "When a major Western city can't protect its own citizens, when elected officials make excuses instead of solutions, the world notices. We all notice." That's when the real bombshell dropped. Trump pulled out his phone, yes, his phone during a UN address, and started reading statistics live on camera in front of every world leader. Knife crime in London is up 15% this year. Violent robberies up 22%. Tourist safety warnings from 6 different countries. These aren't my numbers. These are official British government numbers. The silence in that room was deafening. Khan's team found out about Trump's comments before Khan did. By 3:15 p.m, his press secretary was fielding calls from every major news outlet. By 3:30 p.m, social media was exploding. By 4 p.m, Khan himself was watching the clip on repeat in his office at City Hall. What happened next reveals everything you need to know about modern politics. Instead of addressing the statistics Trump cited, Khan went straight to character attacks. Within 2 hours, he released a statement calling Trump's remarks racist, divisive, and completely false. He accused Trump of using London as a political football for American audiences. But here's what Khan didn't do. He didn't refute the crime statistics. He didn't explain the tourism warnings. And he didn't address why his approval rating had dropped to 43%, the lowest since he took office. He just attacked Trump's character and hoped people wouldn't check the numbers themselves. Big mistake. Because within hours of Khan's response, something unprecedented started happening on British social media. Check the numbers began trending. Not from Trump supporters, not from conservative activists, but from ordinary Londoners who decided to verify Trump's claims for themselves. What they found was uncomfortable. The Metropolitan Police data showed knife crime had indeed risen 15% year over year. The Office for National Statistics confirmed the robbery numbers. The tourism warnings were real, issued by Australia, Canada, Japan, and 3 other countries advising their citizens about safety concerns in central London. Sarah Mitchell, a 34-year-old nurse from Hackney, posted this on Twitter at 11:47 p.m. "I hate that Trump is right about anything, but I checked the Met Police website. The numbers are real. My street alone had 3 muggings this month. When did we stop talking about this?" That tweet got 127,000 retweets in 18 hours. By Wednesday morning, British phone-ins and radio shows were flooded with callers. Not political activists, regular people, teachers, shop owners, parents, retirees, all saying variations of the same thing. "I can't believe I'm agreeing with Trump, but..." LBC Radio's James O'Brien, known for his strong criticism of Trump, admitted live on air, "I've spent the morning going through these statistics, and I have to say they're largely accurate. The question isn't whether Trump is right about the numbers. The question is why our own mayor isn't talking about them." That's when the British political establishment realised they had a serious problem. By Thursday, 3 major newspapers had run fact checks on Trump's claims. The Times of London, uncomfortable truths in Trump's London attack. The Telegraph, the crime statistics Khan doesn't want to discuss. Even The Guardian, hardly friendly to Trump, ran a piece titled, "Beyond the Rhetoric, What Do the Numbers Really Show?" All 3 reached similar conclusions. Trump's statistics were substantially accurate, even if his interpretation was politically motivated. But the most damaging development came from an unexpected source. The London Assembly, Khan's own governing body, released their quarterly crime report that same Thursday. The timing was purely coincidental, but the optics were devastating. The report showed that public confidence in London's safety had dropped to its lowest level in a decade. 67% of Londoners now avoid certain areas after dark. Tourist visits to central London were down 8% compared to the previous year. Assembly member Susan Hall, Khan's main political rival, didn't waste the opportunity. These aren't Trump's numbers or Conservative talking points. This is our own data showing that Londoners feel less safe than they have in years. The mayor can attack Trump's personality all he wants, but he can't attack his own government's statistics. Khan's response to his own Assembly's report? He questioned the methodology and suggested the data was being politically weaponised. That's when even his supporters started to worry. David Lammy, Labour MP and Khan ally, privately told colleagues that the mayor was fighting the wrong battle. Instead of defending his record with facts and plans, Khan was getting dragged into a personality contest with Trump. A contest nobody wins. But Khan doubled down. On Friday morning, he appeared on Good Morning Britain and spent 12 minutes talking about Trump's obsession with him. He made jokes about living rent-free in Trump's head and suggested Trump was jealous of London's diversity. What he didn't do: announce any new safety initiatives, present any counter-statistics, or outline any plans to address the concerns raised by his own constituents. The interview backfired spectacularly. By Friday afternoon, Khan out was trending across the UK. The hashtag wasn't started by Conservative activists or Trump supporters. It was started by a London mum, Emma Thornton, a 35-year-old social worker and Labour voter from Islington. Her tweet read, "Voted for Khan twice. Can't do it again. Too busy fighting Trump to fight crime. We need leadership, not Twitter wars." Khan, out within 24 hours, that tweet had 340,000 likes and was shared by everyone from construction workers in Croydon to university professors in Camden. The demographic breakdown of the Khan out movement shocked political analysts. It wasn't angry Conservative voters or far-right activists, it was Khan's own base. Young professionals, ethnic minorities, working mothers, university graduates living in zones 2 and 3. These were the people who had elected Khan twice, and now they were questioning whether he was the leader London needed. Polling company YouGov released an emergency survey on Saturday, showing that 41% of Londoners thought Trump's criticism of Khan was partially or wholly justified. Among Khan's own 2021 voters, that number was still 28%. When more than a quarter of your own supporters think your biggest critic has valid points, you're in serious political trouble. But the most damaging moment came on Sunday's politics shows. Khan appeared on BBC's Sunday Politics and was asked a simple question by presenter Laura Kuntzberg. Setting aside President Trump's personality and politics, are you satisfied with London's current crime trends? Khan's answer lasted 4 minutes and mentioned Trump 11 times. He never answered the actual question. Even sympathetic commentators noticed. Owen Jones, the left-wing columnist and Khan supporter, wrote, "The mayor needs to stop making this about Trump and start making it about Londoners' legitimate safety concerns. Trump won't be president forever, but these crime statistics will follow Khan through the next election." By Monday morning, the story had evolved beyond Trump versus Khan. It became about something much more fundamental: whether British politicians could handle criticism, even when it came from sources they disliked. The Conservative Party, initially cautious about being seen to side with Trump, began using Khan's response as evidence of Labour's broader problems. If they can't handle tough questions from Washington, how will they handle tough decisions in Westminster? Became their new attack line. Even more damaging was the silence from Khan's own party leadership. Keir Starmer, the Labour leader, was asked 3 times in Parliament about Trump's comments. Each time he deflected. He wouldn't defend Khan, but he wouldn't criticise him either. That silence sent a clear message to political observers. Labour leadership didn't think Khan's handling of the situation was defensible. By Tuesday, exactly 1 week after Trump's original comments, the conversation in Britain had completely shifted. Morning talk shows weren't debating whether Trump was right or wrong. They were debating whether Khan was the right leader for London's challenges. The numbers told the story. Khan's approval rating dropped 7 points in a single week. The Conservative candidate for the next mayoral election saw a 12-point boost in early polling. Most concerning for Labour, their London Assembly polling dropped to its lowest level since 2010. All because a mayor couldn't effectively respond to legitimate criticism, regardless of its source.